You might think that is the sun rising, but that is the west. That is actually the moon setting. And so as I drove out of the farm, the moon setting and the sun rising, I thought about this wonderful story in my past. So just as I became able to work, I actually worked before I was 18, but as I became legal to work, let's say it like that, I worked on this island in Mozambique called the Bazarutu Islands. And on the eastern side, there's this mountain range of dune range that's on the rough sea, and then on the western side, that is the side where where Africa is. So 15 kilometers east, that is where you get mainland. I'm sorry, this road is very bad. And so 15 kilometers away from the mainland, that's where the island was situated. Now on the rough side, on the eastern side, there was this dune range, and when I discovered this phenomenon of the moon and the sun setting apart 15-20 minutes once a month, you see the moon sets about 40 minutes later every day, if I remember correctly, or earlier, I think later every day, 40 minutes later every day. And so that creates a thing that once a month you have this happening where the moon sets just before the sunrise. And so I would take the horses and some guests and would ride from the lodge, which was on the eastern side. It was about 4 or 5 kilometers away, cross the island, go up the dunes, take some wood along, take some filter coffee along. We'd sit there, watch the moon side set on one side, and then turn around, drinking our coffee, watching the sunrise next to the fire on the other side. And once when I was off, I went there, I walked at night, I sneaked out. It was illegal. Well, not illegal, just frowned upon to do that. Went up the dunes, took my blankets with, and I went to sleep on the dunes. And it's a lot less safe and a lot less fun than you would imagine. The wind was blowing, so I just had the blankets over my face. Wind was blowing the sand up against me. I actually slept there 2 or 3 times, but this specific time woke up the next morning to this while I was off. It was just simply amazing. Anyway, let me show you quickly what we are doing here. So we are mixing, sorry, the pigs are making so much noise. Maybe I should wait until they are fed. Hold on. Okay, so I moved away from the pigs. Ladies are on their way with tools. We've mixed 2 different kinds of millet and then cowpeas, and we'll be planting that into this. So this is our veld. This is where Brenda the cow is walking. You can see there's already a little bit of life returning. Ideally you actually want to get this down. Somebody said to me last night that the grass standing, I'll post a comment, it was quite informative. The grass standing is actually not very beneficial to the land. You want all of this down so it can cover the ground and it can allow the new bunch to grow. So maybe walk through here with the weed trimmer, weed whacker while we're at it. But anyway guys, we'll be planting that, 2 different kinds of millets and the cowpeas into this land here. And look, let me show you. Marcel, let me explain to you in English and then you can explain to them. I think that is the best. Lucky? Marcel, explain to him I left the pipe there last night. You can bring it here and then he can water while you guys are planting. Tell him, tell Lucky. Tell Lucas to do that and then you come here. You need to translate for me. Otherwise I have to do the translation in Afrikaans to English in the video the whole time. Okay. Marcel, okay. So bring that thing for me. We're gonna plant this whole camp, eh? Everything that you see here until you find the pumpkins on that side. Make a hole for me. And we don't take out any of the plants that's already existing. You don't take them out. Okay. Okay, you check that when the water is flowing, okay, just like that, that's fine. Water is flowing, you see the water is flowing from this side. You want the sand to be on that side. Bring that bucket for me. Take like that, put that in, close it up and water it. Okay, and then the next one is
Are we going to put the manure?
No, we are not going to. Maybe one of the ladies can grab a bucket and they can put a hand in each one. That's not a bad idea. Not manure compost. That's a good idea. Maybe grab one bucket. One lady can dig, one lady can plant, and Luki can water, and one lady can bring the manure. Compost, yeah. I think one hand compost is not going to be bad. TOG, don't make trouble. How can we get the kids involved into a way that is going to be fun for them? Okay, let's think about the way that we can get the kids involved and teach them what we're doing. Okay, so you will not believe what we have here. This is a packet of Egyptian walking onions. I said to Brenda, I spoke to about 25 people this week and nobody has ever heard of them. So I'm very, very excited. I believe they are going to be a game changer for us. It's very exciting to be able to introduce this into our garden. I've also never seen them before in my life. I've only read about them and heard about them on permaculture channels. And that's why I believe it's so important to have permaculture WhatsApp groups and permaculture places, because when I asked the permaculture group in Namibia, they knew and they could supply me with some. Eugene is learning from Millet how to plant. He also hasn't have any experience with planting, so Millet is teaching him how to do it. And just by a couple of people doing unnecessary things or weird things, I think knowledge is spreading. And Brenda said to me this morning, you know what, it was actually his idea. He introduced me to, or he reminded me of the Egyptian walking onions, and I said yes, let me try and get those. Like somebody reminded me of trying to get a Jerusalem artichokes. I'm trying to get those as well. Brenda said, yeah, this one plant can actually feed hundreds of people, and I believe it's true. I believe over the next while we're going to see a big change in the way Otjiwarongo produces onions. Maybe even Namibia. I think that can be really nice if every house has got a couple of Egyptian walking onions with them. It's going to be cool. Okay, so I quickly came home for lunch. This is what's happening on the plot. This is the pumpkin patch that I showed in the previous videos. All the way there, pumpkins, pumpkins and pumpkins. This is, sorry, I got stuck in the thorns. This is what they've been planting this morning. You can see all the wet patches. It's where the seeds went in. Everybody quickly went for lunch. There's a little solar panel running here with a little battery being charged, I see. All these little wet patches is where our cover crop is coming in. And then Eugene there in the back is learning. Eames is teaching him how to work with the weed whacker, and then he will run through this patch quickly and just chop down the dry stalks, basically these guys here, so we can have less stalks in there. Are you winning, Eugene? Good. And so the day has pulled to an end. It is raining, and let me show you what we've got in the meter so far. So it's raining, but slowly. Somebody asked me how many trees do we have on the property. There's a fig tree over there. I don't know what counts as a tree. This is a moringa that dies back in the winter and it's coming back there at the bottom for summer. I don't know how many of these things we should count as trees. There is Lucinas, Plenty of leucaenas there, just next to the planting pits. Okay, so rain. So far 5 millimeters. If the rain keeps running and we have running water on the land, I'm gonna make a rain video. Otherwise, see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful wet evening.